Hi, I'm Shannon Gavin Johnson, the director of Legacy Museum on Main, and this is a brief moment in LaGrange's history. Throughout the old British Empire, it's called petrol, though the correct legal term is petroleum motor spirit. Germans say benzene after the chemical benzene, and much of South America knows it as naphtha. In the United States, since around 1864, we've called it gasoline. The first automobile owners in LaGrange would have found gasoline to be available, but not very abundant. At the turn of the 20th century, gasoline motors powered machinery in a few LaGrange businesses, notably the presses of the LaGrange Reporter. As more automobiles appeared, hardware stores, blacksmith shops, and many grocers added gasoline alongside their barrels of kerosene, which had been a popular fuel for lamps and stoves since the mid-1800s. Sylvanus Bowser sold his first fuel pump in Fort Wayne, Indiana in 1885. He intended to capitalize on a problem for merchants who were expected to ladle kerosene into every manner of bucket, jug, and bottle their consumers might use. Bowser's timing was incredibly fortuitous as his invention hit nationwide markets just as the demand for gasoline skyrocketed. Bowser and others continually improved storage and delivery systems so that purpose-built filling stations were soon a common sight. Many historians say the first true filling station opened in St. Louis, Missouri in 1905. The first here was probably the LaGrange Motor Company station at the corner of Harrelson Street and Ridley Avenue, as witnessed by their advertisement, which appeared in the LaGrange Reporter on December 6, 1912. That same year of 1912, Hudson Hardware on Main Street and LaGrange Auto Supply on Bull Street advertised sales and service for automobiles. A decade later, the city directory listed 14 stations operating in LaGrange, and by World War II that number had doubled. Troup County's many country stores were not technically service stations, but by the 1920s, most provided gasoline for rural customers. Pictured here are just a few of the stations that have served LaGrange. Most photos are from the early 20th century when automobiles and filling stations were still a novelty. Service stations soon became so commonplace that no one thought to photograph them. Full service stations in which an attendant pumped one's gasoline reached their heyday in the 1950s after Congress passed the Retail Gasoline Dispensing Safety Act, which prohibited customers from pumping their own gas. In the 1970s, when gasoline shortages caused fuel prices to increase dramatically, service stations had to find ways to lower costs and increase profits. The gas attendant was on its way out, and the convenience store was introduced. To learn more about automobile history in LaGrange, visit Legacy Museum on Main. This has been a brief moment in LaGrange's history.